Test, test, test.
Yeah. All right.
All right, good evening, everyone. Work session of the Board of Trustees of Harlandale ISD will be held Wednesday, March 6, 2024, beginning at 6:15. It is 6:16 here at Central Office PDC 102 Genevieve, San Antonio, Texas 78214. So we're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order with roll call and the recording of board members present, please. So we should have all our clickers here. Our voting's open. All right, we can go ahead and close it, please. All right. Everyone is present. Welcome, everyone. And so we do declare a quorum, and also we would like to recognize Dr. Castleberry here with us as well. So welcome him. Moving on to recording of superintendent and staff members present, Mr. Soto.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Board of Trustees, HISD Community, this evening, we have our Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Richard Hernandez.
Here.
We have the individual that's going to take Mr. Hernandez's place for business is Mr. David Flores.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Maintenance, Mr. Dr. Hinojosa.
Here.
We have our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Casey.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Human Resources, Dr. Salinas.
Here.
And we have our Public Information Officer, Ms. Vieira.
Here.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Ms. Juarez, there is no one for public comment, correct? All right, perfect. Moving on to item 3. We're going to move to convene into closed session, where we'll have a motion to convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Sections 551 through 071 through 551 through 1.084, which is a discussion and consider the superintendent's selection for Harlandale High School head football coach, athletic coordinator, TGC 551.074. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Cavazos.
I move to convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Sections 551.071 through 551.084 for Agenda Item 3A.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Cavazos. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Ms. Ruiz. We'll go ahead and call for the vote on this here. As soon as it's open, we can go ahead and. All right, is now open. All right, we can go ahead and close. All right, motion carries. It is 6:18 and we are now in closed session. Thank you. All right, good evening, guys. It's 7:14 now, and we are now back in session. And before we make the announcement for item 3, which is the Harlandale High School head football coach and athletic director or coordinator, excuse me, we would like to, on behalf of myself, on behalf of the Harlandale ISD School Board, commend and congratulate all those that did apply and were afforded the opportunity and were willing to become a part of the Harlandale legacy. So thank you guys, every one of y'all for making the efforts to show the committee the reasons why you should have been given that opportunity. But based off of that, we are going to go forward and honor the selection presented by Mr. Soto, and no action is needed for the Harlandale High School head football coach, athletic coordinator, and name Justin Lozano as the new head football coach, athletic coordinator at Harlandale High School. So welcome, Coach Lozano. We look forward for you providing that Indian pride for years to come to our community. And prior to us moving on, would anyone like to share any comments or clarification on any piece? Ms. Cavazos?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that I'm not surprised, but I am flattered that we had so much attention out there, not just locally, but outside of the state of Texas and in the state of Texas for this position. It means the world to us knowing that our community is something that a lot of people want to be in. They want to be here. They want to live here. They want to be part of our family. It doesn't surprise me, but I am flattered to know that we're not the only ones that see Harlandale ISD for what it truly is, a success. So thank you to those candidates, fine candidates, hard decision to make. I applaud the committee for doing it because that's a job I would not have wanted to do. So congratulations to our new head coach.
All right, guys, anyone else before we move forward?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Ortiz?
I know all of us feel the same way, but I'd like to wish Mr. Lozano all the success. I know that the next 2 years in this district is going to be a tough time, but he's up for the challenge, I'm sure. And Mr. Soto, I applaud you and your staff and the committee members that they had a tough decision. And thank you for bringing forward the best candidate, and we appreciate that. And Mr. Lozano, good luck, and I'm sure you're gonna have a fine time with our community because we feel very strongly we feel very strongly that our kids have a good leadership and model, and you're going to be there for all of our Harlandale Independent School District community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else before we proceed? All right, well, thank you everyone for your comments. And again, welcome Coach Lozano to the Harlandale ISD family. So moving on, we are going to convene in a work session with the superintendent and staff. Item 6, strategic strand update, Mr. Soto.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Board of Trustees, at this time, we're going to have our Human Capital Strategic Strand present.
Just want to confirm, this is for strategic staffing, so we're going to do our human capital, or are we going to have? We have an HR update?
I have number 6, a strategic strand,
Correct.
and then human resource update.
Okay, so I will just talk about the human capital strategic strand. We meet quarterly, either virtually and or in person. We did already meet with Region 20 to discuss the top teacher orientation and preparation program and the COLA program, which is a cohort of leadership associates. And we are looking to partner with Region 20 for opportunities for our degreed paras and degreed subs to become certified teachers and build a leadership pipeline. We've also rolled out stay interviews with campus administrators, and that's where staff members are asked 5 questions to provide feedback for administration. One of the questions is, what do you look forward to when you come to work each day? Why do you like working here? Why would you consider leaving Harlandale ISD? If you could change one thing about your job, what would it be? And how can administration best support you? This gives teachers another voice and opportunity to speak to their campus administrators about any concerns they may have as a staff member. We also will be launching our TASB Anonymous Employee Climate Survey. It will be rolled out in English and Spanish, and that is set to roll out March the 18th through April the 12th. We will also have kiosks and QR codes for some of the departments that maybe don't check their email daily, so that we can ensure they have an opportunity at work, because we do want to try to get 100% participation. And then we also, with our strategic plan with human capital, we have created a grade level and department chair job description, and we will roll out an application system to help identify leaders on campus who want to take on a more active leadership role, and that will be happening spring of 2024. So that's my strategic plan update.
Mr. Chair, Dr. Salinas, just brainstorming, these last few days and weeks, can we check with staff, with your human capital about the interest if Harlandale ISD would provide a residential housing for them at a discounted rate on how much interest we would have if we have with the current staff? I know we won't do that with the recruitment, but just to get a feel on how that would with our current staff, if they would be interested in something in that nature.
Yes, sir, absolutely. We can add that to our agenda for the next meeting.
All right, any comments, concerns, or clarification needed on this? I guess, Dr. Salinas, based on this, just to clarify, the top program would be just creating kind of a pipeline within our district, right? So getting our staff certified to teach.
That is correct, sir. We've already run a list of our certified subs, our degreed subs and our degreed paras, because we have quite a few. And what we're looking at doing is creating a cohort here, partnering with Region 20 and also San Antonio partnership, because they can provide scholarships where it will be a free program for those individuals who are interested, and they'll be able to do that hopefully in-house, on-site, so you don't have to go to Region 20 is what we're hoping. And then hopefully within the next 12 months to 18 months, they would then leave that program with their certification.
All right, and that's incredible news because I've heard a lot of horror stories with Teach for Texas and Texas teachers and just all the modules and what it takes to get permitted to take tests and things like that. So to be as progressive and forward thinking, I have much kudos to your team. And I know we've seen presentations throughout at different events and different conventions. So kudos to you guys for finding ways to be forward thinking and taking advantage of the opportunities that we have available. Mr. Soto.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Mariana, can you let the board and the community know a strategy that you're implemented, that you just implemented this past week on some of the districts that are having hiring freezes and also letting go of personnel? I know you're not part of this. I know you're not part of this strand, Ms. Mariana, but
Yes,
you're-
yes,
you're-
the
it
Facebook.
takes a
yes,
team.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So we got together with Human Resources and we created an a Facebook ad campaign. And so we actually put money to boost that advertisement. And so we looked at how we could target audience for the Facebook ad. And we got 18 through 20 ages 21 to 60s. And it's going to be a month-long campaign. And so that ad is going to be targeted, depending on how much money we put into the ad, is how many times the ad is shown to the different people that we're targeting. And so we did $2,500 for the campaign, and that's what we're hoping that it's going to be shown to the different.
And it's a keyword, right? If they're educators, so forth, so on, that kind of will be the ad that will pop on their social media, correct?
Correct. And so you can target it as much as you can get very, very specific. And so we wanted to reach as many people in San Antonio as possible. And so that's when we created the specific target audiences.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Reese.
Ms. Mariana, is this ad going to be shared on the Harlandale ISD family page so that our locals can share it too?
Yes, we can certainly share the actual flyer that we created, but I don't know how familiar you are with Facebook, but so every time you log into Facebook, when you're looking at your feed, the ad will show up either on your right-hand side of the column, or it will actually come up as a post. It will look like a post, like if somebody posted it for you, so it's an actual ad. But yes, we can definitely share it as well.
Thank you.
So just to clarify on that piece, and thank you for providing that insight as well, Mr. Soto. It is very difficult to get things through Meta and get it approved and get the ID number. It's a process, and especially when it's anything related to elections, politics, or anything advertising, anything related to that can be some semblance of it. So to do so, I appreciate that. And then I know across all platforms, it could also go on Instagram, because I know the people we're targeting are going to be on for sure TikTok and Instagram versus more so Facebook, that we're hoping to lure in to the field of education. So I appreciate that. I know those are some things that we've all discussed, and I'm glad that you guys are also pushing forward that initiative. So thank you, because I know it's not easy to get everything pulled with public service, especially when it comes to Meta. So thank you. Anything else on this piece, guys? All right, moving on, I guess, would that be related to human resources as well, Mr. Soto?
The next strand, we're gonna have 4 strands. So the next strand will be our finance strand. Mr. Flores?
Mr. Soto, members of the board, on the finance strategic plan, the committee met on February 6th and to review the action steps that were previously highlighted and put together by the committee. The information discussed during the meeting on the ways and ideas to increase revenues and reduce expenses throughout the district. Recommendations and input was gathered from those in attendance, and we're currently implementing new procedures to track improvements. The committee is currently working with our other strands on recommendations and suggestions for programs and staffing. We are currently scheduled for our next meeting on March 20th, and we will send out an invitation again to all those stakeholders, where we will present information gathered, including programs that are being reviewed for utilization and student outcomes.
Any comments, concerns, or clarification on need on this piece related to finance? All right, so continuing on, anything further on this piece, sir?
No, Mr. Chair, the next strand is gonna be Positive Culture Committee, which is Dr. Nojosa and Ms. Vieira.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. So for the Positive Culture Committee, so we have met 3 times. And part of the times we've gotten together is really the tasks that we've had with the committee is just really trying to identify other staff members throughout the district that are also going to kind of exhibit and share that same positive culture and that climate that we want to establish here for the students and the staff in our school district. So we've met those 3 times, and now we've transitioned to meeting once every 2 months, because now that we kind of have our charge, each one of the staff members or the committee members is going to review some of the survey data that we've previously had from the fall. And then we'll also incorporate, Dr. Salinas mentioned the survey, the climate survey that we're going to have later on in the spring. So what we've asked all the committee members to do is to kind of review that information and also attendance data to see if we can see any trends or to establish a baseline. And then at that point, if we see any commonalities, then the plan is going to be to assess, to go on site to the campuses and to assess what we see in terms of positive culture, to try to put together a plan, or we will put together a plan. So that way we kind of have some uniformity for all of our campus once we establish what is the belief of what a positive culture will be. So that way, regardless, we have a mobility rate within our district where they might move from one school to another, but we don't want that transition to be an issue for our student. We want that positive climate and that positive culture to kind of resonate throughout all of our campuses. So then that way, if we do have mobility, they're going to still feel the same positive climate and culture as they move, or if they move throughout the district. So that's where we're at. We're meeting again every 2 months now, as we have time to kind of establish that baseline.
Any comments, concerns, clarification needed on that piece? Ms. Cavazos?
No.
Okay, so moving on to the HQMI strategic planning update.
Yes, Mr. Chair, at this time, Ms. Casey will present.
Yes, in the high quality instructional materials strand, we actually have 2 committees. We have our HQIM committee And then we actually have a response to intervention committee. We've met a total of 4 times between the two committees. Within that, we've formed the committee, obviously, and we've reviewed our TA audit that was done for Harlandale High School and Leal Middle School. With the RTI group, we actually have worked on looking at revising the response to intervention operating procedures, which are universal screeners, the handbook and testing, the administration, the assessment calendar, including testing windows and progress monitoring. As far as the high quality instructional materials strand, we've actually looked at data, our data on how our students are progressing in our current curriculum. We will have both committees meeting again the week of March 18th and March 25th, and we have 4 follow-up meetings after that.
Any comments, concerns, clarification needed on this piece? All right. Now on to the next item.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Board of Trustees, at this time, Dr. Salinas will present on the human resources staffing.
Yes, thank you. At this time, we have Ms. Guerra and Ms. Molina, our elementary and secondary coordinators. To share the board presentation on vacancy trends.
Okay, good evening, everyone. As Dr. Salinas stated, I am Faith Molina and this is Sandra Guerra, and we're here to provide you with the information that was recently requested by the board regarding our vacancy status. Specifically, we're going to address how many certified teacher vacancies we currently have, how long those vacancies have been in existence, which campuses have these vacancies, how many long-term subs we have, and which campuses do have these long-term subs, and what strategies have we used to fill the vacancies.
The teacher shortage area is a nationwide issue. Here we have information provided by the Texas Education Agency on shortage areas specifically in Texas. Please note that in moving into the current school year, 23-24, we have added social studies to the list of shortage areas. This means that now every core content area is designated by TA as a teacher shortage area.
The table above here shows a gradual increase in teacher vacancies over the last 3 years, with last year's vacancies at 94, despite the repurposing of 4 elementary schools, and currently we are at 45 vacancies.
This slide represents the vacancies that we have seen unfilled over the last 3 years. One area that we have had difficulty filling is our French vacancy at McCollum. You will also notice that we have decreased vacancies this year in math. This is not attributed to hiring. Rather, it is McCollum and Harlandale seeing a decrease in enrollment. By maximizing class sizes up to 25, we have been able to naturally attrition some of our vacancies. This allows our students to be taught by certified teachers rather than substitutes.
Each month, we provide the above detailed list of vacancies to present during each board meeting. These vacancies have been filled by long-term substitutes, with those in yellow currently undergoing the certification process. While other districts have opted to freeze their hiring for the remainder of the year, our goal is to have all vacancies filled with qualified teachers, and we will continue to hire for the remainder of this year as well as into next year.
We attend all area job fairs as well as those in drivable distance. This fall, you will notice on the left column that we have added some new job fairs that we had not previously attended. Among those were Texas A&M in College Station and Televisa. We also have several upcoming job fairs this spring. Today, we had staff at UT Austin. We invited 2 teachers from our Human Capital Committee to attend today's fair. Who better than our own committed teachers to speak on behalf of the district about what a wonderful home Harlandale is to them. We plan on continuing to invite staff to help with our recruitment efforts as we move forward with recruiting this spring. We are also excited to announce that we will be hosting the San Antonio Area Personnel Association Job Fair in June. This will promote our district citywide, and we hope this will draw a large pool of candidates to our district. Although we are hopeful we will have an abundance of applicants at the fair, I will also share that the job fairs recently have been poorly attended by candidates. And having been in part of HR as a recruiter the last 15 years, I can share that we used to have long lines of candidates waiting to meet with Harlandale and other districts. One of our largest and best attended fairs was the UTSA Educator Job Fair. As of spring 2020, they have stopped hosting a fair. This is due to a decrease in their enrollment in their educator program. But we will continue attending in hopes things turn around. As a product of Harlandale High School, I will continue to seek out the best for our district. I know firsthand the impact a great teacher makes for the students sitting in our classrooms, and I want to seek out the best and brightest for Harlandale.
I guess, Ms. Guerra, if you don't mind, if I can note, just in conferring with Ms. Cavazos too, I think I just saw a news article related to UTSA having its record enrollment, and yet we're seeing a decline in the education program. That's very, very tough to digest, to say the least. That's
Yes, sir.
crazy.
Yes, sir. And UTSA is ones we're very familiar with, but it's happening throughout the state.
You can proceed. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So these are some of our vacancy retention and recruitment strategies. As I mentioned earlier, we are hosting the SAPA Job Fair. We have also started to partner with alternative certification programs. We do run a list of all their candidates in the program, and we send it out to our administrators regularly. But what administrators share with us is that a lot of those candidates are already spoken for. And so they're kind of growing their own and sending them through the alternative certification programs, which is something we're looking to do. And Ms. Molina will touch on that. This year, we also have TEA waivers to give our candidates a little bit more time to get certified. We have 16 of those candidates. I know one of mine has already moved on to an intern certificate. We're very happy, and we're touching base with them regularly to make sure that they're making progress in the program. We have the T-Class partnership with UTSA and TAMUSA. And so what that was a grant opportunity where we are now paying our student teachers to be residents in our classrooms in hopes that we can keep them as teachers long-term. We have 4 of those hired, and we have more in queue to be hired. We're working with the H-1B visa process. We're hopeful that we'll have our first candidate for next school year. We're members of advisory boards. We sit on the Bexar County Education Coalition, and that's a city-wide recruitment effort. We're part of the ACCD Alternative Certification Advisory Board and the Region 20 Advisory Board. And in sitting with those boards, they share with us how many candidates they have coming in. ACCD has 16. Region 20, which is the largest program, they have 96 for the 24-25 school year. Again, think about the size of Northside, Northeast. So we're all competing for just a few candidates. We have partnered with Lead Forward the last 4 years to really have a robust and well thought out first-year teacher mentor academy, because we want to support those first-year teachers as well. We don't want them to be in the classroom without that support system in place, because we want to retain them. We post all of our vacancies on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We post on Handshake, which goes out to all the local area universities. And we are members of every organization for personnel, SAPA, TASPA, ASPA, for networking and recruitment. And we're very hopeful that with the new TIA designations for many of our teachers, that will help with our retention efforts as well.
So moving forward, Dr. Salinas did mention some of the collaboration that we're currently conducting with Region 20 and the Ready to Work organization to provide those free opportunities for our current degreed substitutes and degreed paraprofessionals to earn their teaching certification. We're also looking at working more closely with our high school students interested in teaching, so we can help them pursue a paraprofessional certification and start their educational journey in their home district. We also have student teachers who have been hired immediately after their residency with Harlandale, and we're in the process of applying for another grant that will give us the ability to hire more student teachers as residents. In speaking of the flyer earlier, this is actually what the flyer looks like. And this has been posted on our website and has been passed out at our job fairs. We have also posted this on social media. Teacher organizations like TSTA, they've graciously collaborated with us to spread the word about our vacancies. And Dr. Salinas will also speak to you a little more about the recent campaign with Meta Facebook. So I'll go ahead and pass that on over to Dr. Salinas.
Yes, Ms. Vieta mentioned it earlier, and I'm very glad we're talking about it because on my phone, when I talk about things, if I talk about a purse, it pops up an ad for a purse. So we don't want to mention districts, but as we mentioned earlier, there is a hiring freeze at a certain district. You've heard that some districts are doing a reduction in force. And most recently, you've seen that surrounding districts are having layoffs, quite a few layoffs. And so we're hoping that our Facebook ads will start popping up. We looked at just first we looked at doing zip codes, but then in talking with Ms. Vieta, we decided we don't want to limit ourselves. And so that's why you heard the age range. So if you're over 21, you're probably going to start seeing ads to come work at Harlandale. And so those ads will come out. I know we got the money, HR, we did the money for the $2,500 for the ads, and it will start March 18th. So right after everybody rests for spring break, hopefully you'll start seeing pop-ups.
And then finally, we'd like to share a video with you that we're going to be using to further strengthen our recruiting efforts.
So my experience as a student teacher, I've been able to grow in my lesson plan, my classroom management, have really hands-on experience. I've worked with fifth grade, and it helped me throughout the whole process of becoming a first-year teacher.
Yeah, my experience has been great. The first thing that comes to mind is just the people that were able to help me out, especially making it a smooth transition into being a student teacher, because I'm taking on classes as well and then dealing with outside stuff. It's been great. They've been able to guide me, and I was put in a position where I was able to just be myself, and I think that was the best part about it.
I stayed with Harlandale because Harlandale helps me with my success as a teacher. They also have a lot of resources for bilingual teachers. And Harlandale gave me the opportunity to be working on my certification as a teacher, and then working as a full-time teacher.
So my relationship with my mentor has been, it's been great. He's been able to not only teach me things that I didn't know as far as being a professional, but just being a better person. And I think that speaks to who he is and what he's taught me as far as with the kids and stuff. So I've definitely been a better person because of my mentor, and then that's helped me be a better professional.
So here at Caldier, the principal and vice principal were very welcoming. I always felt comfortable enough to go and talk to them. I wasn't scared if I had an issue or concern. And all of the faculty, the different teachers in the grade levels, they were all helpful. I would like to go ask to see different opinions, and they were always willing to help me out. What I really loved and was happy when I chose it and was placed here was it's a smaller district, but it feels like family. Like, I've been able to meet the superintendent, I've been able to meet HR, I've been able to meet certain people, whereas I know if I was at a bigger district, I wouldn't have those opportunities.
Here at Harlandale, I have two mentor teachers, one for 4th grade and then one for kindergarten. So they both give me a lot of support academically and skills. They support me a lot with knowledge and experience.
Working here, it's been great just because of those relationships. I look forward to coming to school every day. I look forward to being here on campus just because of the staff, the principal, and then my mentors as well.
Yes, I do plan on staying for Harlandale. I feel like I found my home.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess prior to us proceeding, is there anyone with any comments, concerns or clarification needed?
Mr. Chair. Dr. Salinas, I don't know if it's cool to be doing this, but those school districts that are going to be having RIFs, are we going to have an opportunity to reach out to them? I mean, you know, I know that's a delicate subject, but you know, there will be people that will be looking for jobs.
Yes, so I know we mentioned earlier, we're actually partnering through associations. So TSTA, as I said, they have a lot of members in those districts. And I know Miss Salinas in particular has worked with us with our flyer, and she's put that on for their contacts. But if we're reaching out directly to them on their school email, no, we are not doing that. But we are certainly spreading the word, and we have our HR meetings. We had some last week. So we're telling people we're hiring. So send them our way. So in those surrounding school districts very near to us, those employees who are looking for a position or looking for a place to call home, our arms are wide open and we're ready.
Thank you.
Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed? Ms. Vassos?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I may, we have gone through this meeting after meeting, session after session. It's not a complaint. It is the mere acknowledgement that we continue to seek to fill these vacancies because it is so important for us to have teachers in every classroom. It is important. I'm extremely sad to know that education is not a degree most are pursuing. My sister is a teacher, and I come from a long line of teachers in my family. I think that it is very, very important that we don't just rely on your hard work and your efforts to do this. I think this is a community effort, should be a community effort. We should not sit here and just say, okay, do what you can, get your wand out, do a little magic, and let's fill this classrooms. I think this is a community of family. We say that over and over again, and I cannot speak for my colleagues, but I certainly can speak for myself. Whatever you all need, and not Norma, the board member, Norma, the resident of Harlandale, Norma, the parent of children who are a product of Harlandale, anything I can do to make people come to our classrooms and educate our children and continue their love for their profession, by all means, you all know where to find me. This is a community that needs to help the community. And I, for one, am willing to help. So please, anything you need, let me know. And thank you so much for this, being so diligent in getting all our classrooms filled, more so now that we see that our core subjects are now especially all being affected. So thank you so much for your efforts.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed on this piece?
Mr. Chair, just to piggyback off Ms. Cavazos' statement about it being a community, me and Dr. Salinas sit with the committee with the region, the Bexar County area. And it's called the San Antonio Regional Talent Pipeline. And so this is just, as stated by the ladies at HR, this is not just a Harlandale issue. It's a nationwide issue. And so Bexar County has formed a group of business leaders, politicians, bankers, educators, and we meet regularly basis on how we can put that together, right, Ms. Cavazos, as a community, on how we can attract more individuals to want to become educators again. Because at one point, as the lady stated, there used to be lines for one job, and now there's hundreds of jobs and there's one person, right? And so we gotta rethink the processes and see how we can attract individuals to come back into the education workforce.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other comments or concerns or clarifications needed before we proceed?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just like when I was a teacher in the classroom, the administrators would get after us about differentiating for our students. I think that's what we need to figure out, how we can help you be more effective and you can differentiate to the public as to being, like Mr. Soto says, more attractive for them to come, whether it's higher wages or maybe housing. I know we have some property here in the district. Maybe we can look into that. I mean, there's also, we're part of TASB. I mean, look at what the high performing districts are doing in TASB. I've always urged Mr. Soto and his staff to doing that as well. Because there's a need, there's really a need here, like Ms. Cavazos says, there's really a need here. I know it's not as drastic, it's more drastic now than when I was employed here. Because like you used to say, you used to see people line up, hundreds, thousands used to go to Northside just to get 200 jobs and be 15,000 people applying. And now we can't even get enough applicants for the positions available. So once again, just going to like, how can we differentiate ourselves through different media? One of my marketing ideas is like, we're going to go to UTSA, we're going to go to Tembusa, we're going to go to these. Why don't we just ask the students, what is it going to take for you to be a teacher or to get certified? What do you need? And maybe that's the way we need to approach it also, because some of those kids want jobs. I mean, some of them want to be teachers, but if they don't see if it's going to not work for them, then they're not going to be wanting to go into this profession. They can make, I know, some high tech jobs and other jobs like that, gaming or whatever, that the people are going into is more prosperous for them. They see it as that way. But what about their future? We can project a future for them here that's going to be something for them viable to do. So that's what I'm trying to say, is like, just to be more to differentiate ourselves from the rest of the group. Thank you.
Any other comments, concerns, or clarifications needed? All right, well, thank you, ladies, for the presentation, the whole team, and for putting it all together and providing all that intel and insight into the current status. So thank you again. So moving on to the next piece, which is just reading the board focus on student outcomes 34% of the time in the February work session and regular board meeting. So hopefully we can continue to see that momentum. So let's keep moving forward. So thank you. Moving on to item 9, the board will review and discuss budget amendments to the general fund and the general fund subfund of donations for 2023-2024 fiscal year in various amounts. Mr. Soto.
Yes, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this evening, we're presenting the budget amendments that are being presented for the month of March. We have one budget amendment that is within the campus allotment. They're moving monies in order to pay for fees to compete against in the band UIL concert site reading. We also have donations to the What's Next Symposium from Montañez Services and ATM Air Conditioning, which need to be budgeted. With those donations, and the total amount for those donations is 1,200. And those are the budget amendments for this month.
All right, any comments, concerns, or clarification needed on this piece? No, we'll go ahead and proceed to the next item. The board will review and discuss designating the district's Assistant Superintendent of Finance, David Flores, as an investment officer in accordance with board policy CDA legal. Mr. Soto?
Yes, if you continue, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir. Again, these are the steps that we need to take in regards to the policy, as you just noted, sir. And that's the appointment of an investment officer for the school district, and that is Mr. Flores as the incoming Assistant Superintendent for Finance.
Any comments, concerns, or clarification needed on that piece? No? Okay. Moving on to item 11, the board will review and discuss the resolution to enter into interlocal purchasing cooperative agreement with WeGo Public. Mr. Soto, is this also?
Yes, Mr. Hernandez.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This evening, we have the opportunity to present for board approval at the next board meeting to enter into another cooperative. This cooperative is being operated by We Go Public. This is the organization that leads the way for all local school districts in promoting public schools. And this evening, we have Ms. Lisa Jackson, who can give us some background regarding this new cooperative and how it works with We Go Public and how it'll benefit our school district. Ms. Jackson.
Welcome, Ms. Jackson. Please, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you, Board President, board members, and Mr. Soto. Thank you so much for the time here today. I am excited to announce this formation that we have under We Go Public, and you all are all members of the Go Public San Antonio campaign. Okay, so that's under the Bexar County School Boards Coalition. We have a separate entity called We Go Public that is enabling us to go statewide so that we can reach even more districts doing more of the good work. And just a quick little sentence here about what Go Public does: promotes the great things happening in public schools and our member ISDs. So it has been invaluable for me to listen today to some of the challenges that are happening around hiring and teachers. And so my marketing brain is thinking, okay, let's start telling the story about how great it is to be a teacher and do that on a bigger scale so that it's amplifying the work that Ms. Mariana and you all are doing to get the word out. It's really tremendous what I've heard today. So Go Public is that big megaphone that's out there. We Go Public, now having a co-op, is allowing us to start to generate additional revenue streams so that we can become more sustainable and do more while not relying so much on membership dues as we go forward. Right? So as we continue to grow, building up that revenue stream so that we can do more, rely less on school district membership dues. The co-op itself is very focused. We have right now 2 awarded vendors, and the idea is that the vendors who are part of our co-op are focused on ensuring that the image for school districts is positive and that there's a positive perception in the community. So whatever it is that they do, it contributes to that. And also that it provides cost savings to the districts in very direct ways that we can see immediately. So very excited about that. In order for us to go forward, we have the master interlocal agreement. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Flores, been so wonderful to help guide me through the process to get this approval. We have the master interlocal agreement where we're asking for 2 school districts to sign on to the master. And then we have the additional addendum for all the other Go Public member districts to sign on. And so as we look at this going forward, this is a new frontier. The more that we can do to amplify the great things happening in your districts, the more that we're doing what it is that's a part of our own mission and the incredible work that's happened over the last, let's see, we're now on year 11 of Go Public. So I thank you for that opportunity. I'll pause here if there are any questions.
Any comments, concerns, or clarification needed from Ms. Jackson? Ms. Cavazos?
Mr. Chair, Ms. Jackson, hello. I didn't
Hi.
recognize you. Your hair is different.
It's, yes,
I'm like, I didn't recognize-
yes, yes.
Until they said Ms. Jackson, I'm like, that's who she
That's me.
is. Yes. So I wanted to just mention that all of us in this room are here because of a teacher. I think that that love for teaching is still out there. It is just scary world right now. And I hope that We Go Public touches on the hearts of those that want to teach, reassuring them that there are not just doors open at Harlandale ISD, but elsewhere, and that the need for that love of education is greatly needed right now. I hope they really, really emphasize that. Your marketing
Yes.
magic wand can help us do that.
Ms. Guevara, so that's such a great, I just want to add one thought to this that's running through my mind and that I'll take back with me. Sometimes it's about sitting down and listing in bold terms, what's in it for me? Why would I want to be a teacher? And what we can do is pull that out and shine it in front of them and push that out in lots of different ways. My mother was a public high school teacher in theater and debate. So, I come also too from that background. And I know even yesterday she was sharing and her health is declining, but her memory, it was remarkable. Her memory was all about the students that she taught in high school. And she can't recall a lot of things, but she was able to draw up these incredible memories of her students. And it was, I'm getting emotional right now. It was incredible. And she was saying, that she felt that she made a difference in their lives. And it was a conversation that we had that lasted for a nice 5 minutes. And it was just about that. So my heart is definitely in that, and whatever we can do with Go Public to amplify the tremendous efforts y'all are doing, we can change it. Sometimes you just got to put a little razzle dazzle on it. That's all. You're welcome.
Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed on this piece?
Yes,
Mr.
Ms. Jackson,
Herbert.
nice to see you again.
Yes, hi.
I've been able to participate in some of those, We Go Public. I just want to make sure the community knows that Go Public went through like a rebranding, I guess, to We Go Public, because I know it's We Go Public now on the .com is the website to go to now, right?
That's a great question. It's always been wegopublic.com. So Go Public has always been, the website presence is wegopublic.com. Go Public that we see all branded everywhere in San Antonio, that's kind of like San Antonio's logo. And it's separate, right? So that's the San Antonio Region campaign. We Go Public, which is another iteration of Go Public, lets us go statewide. So we still hold on to that same look and feel with San Antonio because it's such a community campaign.
Ms. Moreno,
Bert?
I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to ask the question. Are only public school districts eligible members for the purchasing cooperative?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Only ISDs. Yes. Definitively.
Well, thank you everyone for those clarifications. Any other comments or concerns or clarification needed? No, well, it's great working with you guys, and obviously with Bobby as well. And so we're definitely looking forward to continue that partnership and that collegiality amongst all ISDs, because it gives us all different perspectives, and whether it's grassroots events or whether it's Go Public events, being able to build that camaraderie is huge, because we are the biggest advocates and spokespeople for our communities. And a lot of times we're enlightening each other by saying we do this event or we do that event, and their eyes are amazed, and people are perked up because they didn't realize that we offer this or offer that. So it's great to offer those opportunities for us to get to know one another and also help promote the one collective message about going public.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Thank you all for all the work that you do every day. We're so grateful for you.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and proceed. So we'll go forward.
Take care. Thank you.
ma'am.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us. All right, moving on to item 12, which the board will review and discuss the request to award RFP 2094 broadband internet service for middle schools to Crown Castle Fiber LLC for an estimated annual cost of $35,904 with E-rate funding $32,313.60 and the district's obligation of $3,590.40 contingent upon approval of E-rate funding. This is a 3-year contract, making the total cost to the district's $10,771.20. The district's responsibility will be from the budgeted general fund designated from the district's obligation. So, Ms. Martinez, and I guess you put all that information, so we won't ask you questions. So go ahead, ma'am.
I thought about it. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Superintendent Soto. So tonight I have 3 items to present. All of them are E-rate eligible at 90% discounted rate. That means that the Schools and Libraries Division of the FCC will pay the first 90% of the total costs, and the district then will pay the remaining 10%. This is all contingent upon E-rate approval and E-rate funding. This coming school year marks the 27th year of E-rate. Since its inception in 1998, the district has applied for and received over $50 million of government E-rate funding. So we're fairly confident that these will be approved as well. So item number one, which is the RFP 200094, since we use voice over IP telephones, basically we're requesting internet and telephone access for our middle schools, as well as the Carroll Bell Education Center. We ask that you consider and approve the request for broadband internet service for these locations to be awarded to Crown Castle Fiber LLC, which we have used for many years. So we're very confident in the product.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Soto.
can you, with permission, can Ms. Myrna go ahead and go to item 12, 14, and 15, because it kind of,
Yeah, they all correlate together, that's fine.
Yes.
And 13, item 13, if we can bring that back to the regular board session as an individual item, because there's some new information just came across, so that one needs to be looked over again.
Okay, yes, sir. So we can definitely proceed with 12, 14, and 15, correct, and 16 as well? No, just 15? Okay, those items, Ms. Myrna, Ms.
Okay.
Martinez.
Okay, thank you. So we ask that you consider and approve the request to award RFP 200096, which is a fiber optic build out to the district's wide area network to Crown Castle Fiber LLC. The estimated cost is $147,900 with E-rate funding $133,110, leaving the district to pay $14,790 annually. This is a 3-year contract, making the total cost to the district $44,370. The district's responsibility will be paid from the budgeted general fund designated for the district's obligation. The build-out consists of approximately 35 miles of dark fiber connecting each location, schools, departments, the SOSA Center, central office, back to the network core site, which is now located at 635 Rayburn. We opted for dark fiber because it provides a much higher bandwidth, less resistance in the circuit path, and greater security than the lit fiber.
And we could proceed with the other, and then
Okay.
if we have any questions, we'll jump
Okay.
in.
So we also ask that you consider and approve the request to award RFP 200097. This is actually the wide area network switches and electronics that are needed to support the fiber WAN build out. The award would go to Layer 3 Communications LLC at an estimated one-time cost of $4,669,275, with E-rate funding 90% of that cost, or $4,202,348, leaving the district to pay 10%, or just under $467,000. Now, the purchase of network switches, routers, and the electronic devices will allow the district's equipment to transport data to and from all classrooms, offices, libraries, and every area in the school. This includes, again, any security, video, data, and, voice, everything that's technology based. The devices are present throughout the district in strategically located network wiring closets, or an MDF closet, which is the main demarcation point from internet coming from the outside, as well as IDF closets, which are the intermediate frame, which is from the MDF. Now we hop to IDFs to provide this access to every corner of the school. The equipment currently in place was installed approximately 5 years ago and will not support the new fiber optic build out. This purchase will replace outdated network switching equipment district-wide. Every school and every department will benefit from this purchase. The district's responsibility will be from the budgeted general fund designated for the district's obligation. In total, the district will receive total value of products and services of approximately $5,340,000, but the district's share of costs is less than $534,000 over a 3-year period.
All right, any comments or concerns or clarification for any of those 3 items? Ms. Cavazos?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Ms. Martinez, how are you? On the first agenda item, RFP that ends in 094, it says, oh my gosh, where is it? Give me 1 second. It says they're terminating at 635 Rayburn. Is it because when the Harlandale Police Department goes in there, that's a whole other beast that's going to come and bring things there?
Yes, but we have, Rayburn is now the new core. It's the new site. And so we want all services to terminate there. But because we already have 632 West Vestal, that will remain as our DR site, which is something that we don't have currently. And it is very much needed. So
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
Any other comments, concerns, clarification needed on any of these three items? Yes, Mr. Luna?
Just going back to our marketing theme, so we should tell the world that we have the technology, right? That we have the technology to get in our
Yes.
district on board with the newest and highest quality equipment so they can do their jobs, correct?
Absolutely. And I'm very proud to say that we are, as far as like a dark fiber WAN infrastructure, we are at year 8 of implementation. And we were actually the first district in the state of Texas to do that. So, yes.
Any other comments, concerns, clarification on these three items? All right, well, we gave you a little bit more questions there, Mr. Martinez, so thank you for providing that information for us,
Thank you.
as Mr. Soto wanted us to. So moving on to item 16, the board will review and discuss the install of 2 carrier compressors at Gilbert Elementary from Dynamic Systems Incorporated, utilizing board contract 63 -21 at an estimated cost of $55,645,000. Funding will be from the maintenance tax notes. Mr. Soto, Dr. Reynoso?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. Mr. Chair and members of the board, so on Monday, we'll be seeking approval for this particular item. Currently, we have 2 compressors that are very outdated at Gilbert Elementary. And so we've had to spend, our HVAC foreman and our crew has had to spend an enormous amount of time on patching it and trying to make it work. And it's just becoming financially not feasible to continue to do that. And it's also causing an undue strain on our campus because it's not, those 2 compressors, we're not able to regulate the temperature inside the school for our students and our staff. So for Monday's item, we'll be seeking approval to purchase these 2. It'll include the labor and the cost of the equipment. So it will actually be removing the 2 compressors, installing the new ones, recharging them, and then also making sure or ensuring that they're operable. That's all a part of the estimated amount.
All right, thank you. Any comments, concerns, clarification needed on this item? Okay, well then we'll go ahead and proceed to the next. So thank you, Dr. Reynoso. So before we go, I'm sure we'd like to wish all of our staff a very happy and healthy spring break. Ms. Cavazos, before we proceed to adjournment?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me. So this weekend, we had some of our students go and compete. McCullough Mariachi students went and competed down in the Rio Grande Valley, and they did very well. I got a call from a parent asking who was in charge of transportation. Who could they speak to about a bus driver? And so I referred that to Mr. Soto, only to find out that the bus driver that was in charge of the safety of our students to and from, and they did spend the night in the valley, took care of those kids as they were their own. So I applaud the bus driver for doing that. I applaud his leadership, his supervisors, and the supervisors' supervisors, because I know that no one likes leaving home, traveling for work. And not only did he do it, but he did it in a way that was so noticeable that Monday morning, I get a phone call and said, who can I speak to? Because I want to make sure that they know what kind of a job he did. So thank you so much to the transportation department. Thank you to our bus drivers. We love our bus drivers because they take care of our children as if they were their own. We are a family here at Harlandale. So thank you so much for that. I wanted to make sure the community knew out there. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Moving on, we'll go ahead and move to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Reese?
I move to adjourn.
All right, a motion by Ms. Reese. Do we have a second?
In a second.
All right, second by Mr. Luna. So we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Voting's open. Ms. Ortiz? All right, we can go ahead and close the vote. All right, motion carries. It's 8:14 and we are now in close, we are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate all the.